need it, you can keep it as a fan. I had to make up my mind. I took that weight on my shoulder. I done been down for some.
Prosecutors, after some scheduling discussions, say they intend to rest their case in chief today unless there are some very, very long crosses with the witnesses coming up. There have been some very, very long cross-examinations in this case, so who knows? On the stand again for cross-examination is Kelly Adams, a childhood friend of R. Kelly accuser Tracy. There was some extensive debate yesterday over what year Tracy met the singer. She testified it was in 1999 when she was 16. The defense asserted it was actually a year later. Tracy's friend Kelly is adamant that they met R. Kelly when Tracy was 16, but as far as the actual year it happened, she's not sure. My dates are all over the place. I'm 40 at this point. I have kids. I have a lot of stuff going on. I don't remember exact dates from 20 years ago. Tracy's friend Kelly made a statement as a part of Tracy's 2001 lawsuit stating that the encounter with R. Kelly happened in 2000. Is she suggesting that year was fabricated? No, says Kelly. I'm suggesting that a lot of things could have taken place. I could have been nervous. R. Kelly's attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, says, you think your memory is better in August of 2022 than it was when you signed your statement in August of 2001? Kelly says, in August of 2001, I don't know what that is, but I know for sure it wasn't 2000 when we met him. The prosecution's next witness is testifying under the pseudonym Nia. She met R. Kelly in 1996 at a mall in Atlanta when she approached him for an autograph, she says. She was 15. He signed the autograph and gave her his number, she testifies. They talked on the phone a few times in the coming weeks. She told him she was 15 and he said she could still come out and watch him perform. Someone later reached out to make arrangements for her to see his show in Minnesota, she testified. A limo had picked her up at her mother's apartment in Atlanta, and on the way to the airport, they stopped at a gas station where she got a single rose. I wanted R. Kelly to know how I felt about him, and I felt that it would be a gesture that would be sweet, that he would like. She flew out to Minnesota and checked into a hotel that had been arranged. A Sprinter van picked her up and took her to the concert venue where she watched R. Kelly's show, she said. As the show was wrapping up, someone gestured for her to come backstage, and she was taken to a car and told R. Kelly would be in touch later. He didn't see her that night, but came to her motel room the next day, she said. R. Kelly kissed her on the lips, then instructed her to undress and sit next to him on the bed, she testified. She complied, and R. Kelly touched himself in front of her and then left in a hurry, she said. He cleaned himself off and he left. I never got a chance to give him a rose. R. Kelly has said he wanted Nia to come see him in Chicago, and after school let out in the summer of 1996, she traveled there to stay with relatives, she testified. Nia visited the studio one evening with 3 of her cousins. R. Kelly said he wasn't expecting her to be with people, and over the course of the night, he pulled her away twice so that they could kiss alone in the hallway. During one of those instances, he groped her, she testifies. Nia did not tell her cousins about that. Their reason for coming was to prevent anything from happening, and I didn't want them to know, she testified. Later that summer, she tried contacting him several times, and he never got back to her, she testified. Nia filed a lawsuit against R. Kelly with these allegations in 2002, and R. Kelly agreed to pay her $500,000, she testifies. Cross-examination from R. Kelly defense attorney Jennifer Bonjean has begun. Nia confirms that she did not tell R. Kelly her age during their first meeting when she asked for his autograph. R. Kelly's attorney Jennifer Bonjean pressing Nia on what kind of phone R. Kelly was using in 1996. Could it have been a cell phone? Nia says, I just know when I called him, he was able to answer it, even when he was on tour. Bonjean continues, did your mom wonder why you were getting into a white limousine at the age of 15? Nia's mother was a nurse and had already left for work that day, she testifies. Bonjean says, if you told him you were 15, you must have also discussed the fact that your mother wouldn't condone or consent you leaving the state of Georgia, getting on a plane by yourself, and going to see a grown man, right? Prosecutor's objection is sustained. Bonjean is now pressing Nia on her testimony that she got on the plane to Minnesota without ID. She says this was before 9/11. Nowadays, it's a lot harder at the airport. Bonjean says, and you didn't have an adult with you, an adult companion? Nia says, no, I did not, and I boarded that flight. Bonjean is now asking questions about Nia's time in Chicago, and Nia is giving more details about how her older cousins didn't want her alone with R. Kelly. I wanted to go alone, and my cousins was telling me he was too old for me, she says. The cousins did not protest or try to prevent it when Nia was called into the hallway alone, though, she testifies. I don't know if they were aware, or I don't know. They never said anything like, hey, no, take a seat. Bonjean is now asserting that Nia filed her lawsuit not long after R. Kelly snubbed her at the music video shoot and after she heard that R. Kelly was in trouble on making infamous videotapes with children. Nia testifies that she contacted the attorney to see if she could be helpful as a witness against R. Kelly. Bonjean is audibly skeptical. You contacted a private attorney because you might be helpful in the criminal prosecution. You didn't contact the CCSAO and let them know. Prosecution's next witness is Cheryl Ware, the ex-wife of Nia's cousin. Nia spent the summer with her family when Nia was 15, and Cheryl was among the group of cousins who accompanied Nia to visit R. Kelly's studio, she testifies. The prosecution asked Cheryl, had you seen him before? She says only from the videos. He had on the same shirt that he had on in the Gotham City video. As they were all leaving, R. Kelly said, let me talk to Nia for a minute. Ware testifies, I was like, no, you get 5 minutes. So they went out in like the hallway. They were out there exactly 5 minutes because I came out in 5 minutes. Bonjean, on a very quick cross-examination, asked if she saw anything unusual. They were standing very close to each other and talking, but Ware didn't observe anything else, she testifies. The next witness is deja vu all over again. It's IRS Special Agent Jason, who also testified last week. He's on the stand in part to admit into evidence transcripts of Jane and her mother testifying before Cook County grand jurors in 2002. After brief testimony from the IRS agent Jason, the government has rested its case in chief against R. Kelly. Judge Harry Leinenweber adjourns the trial until Thursday morning at 10 a.m. when defense attorneys can begin calling witnesses. Prosecutors in opening statements promised that jurors will hear from the 5 R. Kelly accusers on the witness stand, but they rested their case in chief today after calling only 4. And after prosecution rested their case against R. Kelly this afternoon, after a total of 25 witnesses presented over 10 days of testimony, defense case will begin on Thursday. It's still a bit in flux, but the schedule seems to be defense witnesses on Thursday, followed by a 4-day holiday weekend for the jury, and Judge Leinenweber seems to think defense will end Tuesday, September 6th, and we'll have closing arguments in this case next Wednesday. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and opinions down below, you guys, and let me know how much time you think Chicago is going to throw at R. Kelly if he is found guilty of everything that he's facing. Because I really think the verdict should be guilty, and I really think that they should give him 70 years and run it concurrent.
So long, sleeping from sofa to sofa. Now I'ma step on these little bitty bitches in some brand new Gucci loafers. I got tired of eating Big Mama's chicken. Now it's business when I walk out.